Pod.
Conrad.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to T Transitions, the podcast for building life abroad.
Hi, I'm Farah Baker.
And I'm Rose Davenport.
We're here for the real stuff, the highs, the lows, and all the in-betweens, moments that you would have gone through.
And to me, this is a warm pause in the middle of the chaos where honest conversation over a comforting cup of tea.
So whether you're starting afresh or finding your way, you're in the right place for your journey.
And without further ado, let's pour a cup and dive into our conversation. So, Farah, who do we have today?
Today we have Swan, who is based in Singapore. Swan is originally from the Netherlands, and she has chosen to make Singapore her home. Welcome, Swan.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So let's start with this. When did you arrive in Singapore, and what was the reason for coming to Singapore?
Okay, now I got to go back a bit in history. I met my husband in Amsterdam. I met my ex-husband in Amsterdam.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, sort of we had a long distance intercontinental relationship, I would say.
Wow.
Which went on for maybe less than a year. And then it became a bit too much because we were like he was a flight crew with Singapore Airlines, so it was like he was like trying to get flights to Europe, and I was like from Amsterdam trying to fly to wherever he was in Europe, and that became a bit crazy. So he said like, why don't you come to Singapore, see how you like it, just sort of like get a feel, and yeah, sort of like come and see how whether you like it to be here or not.
Okay.
So I went over in January 1983.
Mm.
Stayed here for 3 months, the maximum 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, yeah, you can enter for 1 month, and then after that, you have to extend it. And then I had this thing that I went to JB for a day, and then come back, and then extend it again for a month. And after
Bali.
3 months, basically, so after 3 months, basically, yeah, the cake was over, was
Mm.
finished. So then, yeah, decision had to be made. So what are you
Yeah.
going to do? Are you going back?
Mm.
Or what? And then he was like, okay, why don't we get married? And, so you can stay here. So that's actually what happened.
Okay.
Uh,
So you've
so
been in the country technically from 83 or 84, around there?
basically from 83, because I came here in January 83,
Mm-hmm.
and we got married in June 83.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Uh, yeah, so I
And
went back after the 3 months. Basically, I went back and then I prepared for the wedding, blah blah blah, and then after the wedding, then came here. So yeah, from basically it's from 1983.
okay. Now the rest of your family are all back in the Netherlands, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So you're the only one here. And at that point in time, unlike right now where information is so easily accessible and you
Mm,
can get in touch with
mm,
anybody with a
mm.
click, you know, how was it for you back then in 83?
Okay, I came here. It happened so that okay, before actually I came here in 83, say 1 2 years before. Of course I did come here to just for holidays,
Mm-hmm.
visits, and I my late parents that time had a very close friend who lived here,
Ah,
and so yeah, I call her aunt because she was a very close friend. So she sort of like like sort of like looked after me when
mm-hmm.
I'm here. I stayed at her place as well when I'm here. So yeah, but she was so more or less my only link who I had, and for the rest, yeah, when you said I was all alone, I came here all alone, and it was like, yeah, after okay, the first 3 months that I was here was I I made some friends through my ex-husband crew, not much, but yeah, I was, you know me, I just like to explore. I just go on my own. I'm quite okay. I've been
Mm.
living in Holland also on my own and everything. So yeah, so I took the bus to town, that kind of things, and learn by trial and error a
Yeah.
lot of things. I don't speak Chinese, so that was a bit of a disadvantage for me.
Till
I
today?
do till today.
Wow.
But do you speak some Indonesian though?
Yeah, I speak
Yeah.
Indonesian. So a bit with the Indonesian, Malay Indonesian is a bit different, but okay, more
Correct.
or less.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, so I could get around with it, but only thing is, I look Chinese, so that
Mhm.
was
Mhm.
the problem. So
Yeah.
whenever I come, everybody start like, and I was like, sorry, I don't speak Chinese, and then they're looking at me like, like why, in
Yeah.
that time we're
Yeah.
talking about now 40 years ago, more than 40 years ago, they were like, wow, like you're so atas like that, like don't want to speak Chinese. But I just don't speak Chinese. I don't understand. So then, yeah, but by that time I realized that with my bit of Indonesian, or with my bit of Malay, but my Indonesian wasn't that fluent, but at least okay, I could speak a bit. So then, okay, especially the older generation, they were like, oh, okay, 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 you speak Malay, and then okay, the conversation went like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so beginning was a bit tough.
Mm.
Mhm.
I stayed with my in-laws that time.
Mhm.
Uh, Big family who all stayed in one house.
Mm.
Grandmother, mother, the uncle, you name
Mm.
it, the children, everybody was there. So I didn't have my own place. Yeah, my own place was just the bedroom we had. So
Yeah.
that was my sanctuary. And what you said, I mean, it wasn't that easy that time. So it was like writing a lot of letters. I wrote plenty aerograms. Every time I went to the post office, I bought 10 aerograms, and then
Wow.
I started writing because if I wrote letters, I don't know when it ends because it was what page after page. So I really
Wait,
Ah.
Job, did you say aerogram?
Yes. For
What is
yes.
those
that?
who do not write letters,
I don't.
yeah. It's a foldable letter, and it's usually just one sheet. You have only one
Correct.
page to write your story in, and then you fold it into three, right?
Yeah,
Fold three and
yeah,
then sideways. Yeah.
yeah.
And what do you do with it?
You mail,
You mail it. You post
snail
it.
Wow.
mail. Yeah. But the aerogram had a standard rate, right?
Yes.
It had a
Yes.
standard
Oh.
rate. You
Yes.
could always send regular letters, but of course that goes by the weight.
And
Aha!
yeah,
People
and
don't
not
know.
no, no, it's not only by the weight, but because you start writing, and of course I was alone, so I had, it was my outlet to to
Yes.
to 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 say things.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, when do you stop?
Mm.
So then I realized, like, okay, no, 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 that was not going to be it. Let me write aerograms at least at the end. That's it.
Yeah.
You make it full, and then you have to send it,
You have to
and
stop.
then you have to stop. And then I was writing like so small, like I was like wondering whether my parents could really read it, because the
Uh,
smaller you write, the more
fit. Yeah.
you can fit it in. So yeah, so I was like writing aerograms. I mean, at least in 1 week, it was almost like every day I wrote an aerogram.
Wow. She's a
Because yeah,
prolific letter writer,
So
clearly.
Swan,
But
I have a
yes,
question.
yes,
Who do you then hang out with? It sounded like you you are struggling. You were
yeah.
struggling, right? Emotionally
Mm.
and physically. I'm just trying to imagine. Who do you hang out with? Where do you
Nobody.
go?
I just went on my own. Okay, the family, the sister-in-law, because the sister-in-laws. Okay, that time we were talking about, I was yeah, around 30, in my
Mm.
30s, beginning 30s. So he was the eldest,
Mm-hmm.
and then the sisters and the brothers were like much younger. So I think two or three were still schooling, secondary school. So it was like, yeah, hi, 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 but you can't really have that conversation. I mean, you can't. So yeah, only that one friend who I made, that was the wife of another ex-crew, who I clicked quite well with. So yeah, she was the only one who I hang out with.
Mm.
But I was staying that time in Upper Serangoon,
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
and she was in somewhere in the west. I don't know where I can't
Mm-hmm.
remember, but the Jurong side, like, let's put it
yeah.
there. So we
Mm-hmm.
always met in the middle, which was in Orchard.
Mm,
And then what we did, which we did something like once a week at least. We meet up at Tangling,
mhm.
and then we walked all the way until Plaza Singapura.
Wow, that's a long
Oh
walk.
my
Yeah,
God. That's
and
like
in the
45 minutes
meantime,
walk.
oh, more than
Oh,
that,
an
because in the
hour?
meantime, we will
Chit
shop.
chat.
We
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
here,
Yeah.
chit chat, we have lunch, and then
Yeah.
Right.
yeah. So that was then the whole, yeah, easily a whole afternoon fill up,
Mm,
and then I
wow.
took the bus back, and then
Yeah.
she went back home,
Yeah.
and then that's it.
So during that time, right, through all this, it was
Mhm.
very difficult for you. I can just imagine because us coming in the 2000s are already facing difficulty culturally and socially, professionally, How did that affect you work-wise?
I didn't work because
Okay.
okay, my ex was a flight crew, so it depended on his flights.
Mhm.
Mm.
SQ roster was like, okay, mostly on flight, because that is basically where they earn, right?
Mhm.
So their off days, yeah, when they're off days, that was our time, which
Mm.
was less. I think the maximum was 5 days off at home, something like that. And then for the rest, yeah, I was on my own. Either I went to my aunt, or my
Mhm.
so-called aunt, or I hang out with my other friend. And for the rest, I was just like, yeah, going on my own to the
Mhm.
market, or to the shopping center, or what,
Mm.
that kind of things, and writing letters.
Yeah. So now, you, as you said, when you were in Holland, you were also by yourself. You
Mm.
were doing stuff by yourself, living on your own. How was that having to live with an extended family in one house for you?
It was pretty tough in the beginning,
Mm.
because all of us, as I said, I only had a bedroom. Okay, they stayed, and I have to say, they stayed in that kind of old type house,
Ah.
where
Wow.
where where well, okay, after we moved, where literally the roof, just the whole thing drop in.
Mm.
The door was, it was wooden doors, which was basically like all
Wow.
eaten by white ants.
Ah.
So although we locked it, but I always say, like, yeah, you lock it for what? I mean, people just kick the door and they can come in.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
yeah, overhead, you heard the stray cats running around, that kind
Mm.
of things. So it was, I can still remember one time, because my life that time revolved around basically when my ex came home from flight.
Yeah.
It was just
Mm-hmm.
looking forward, like,
Mm.
okay, 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 he's
Mm.
back. So I started cleaning the house, the room what we
Mm.
had, make it spick and span and everything clean. And then I can remember one time I just finished, and was just waiting for him to land and to come back. And I was like, standing in front of the mirror, I was like, what are those things? I was like, weird things. It looks like worms, but what is it? And it started dropping from the ceiling. And
No.
I was like, what the hell? And
What was it?
then I called, they were maggots, because there
Oh.
was a dead cat on the ceiling, and it
Oh
was
my
Oh.
God.
Oh.
I know. So I was just sitting there in the bed and crying, because I just cleaned the whole
Yeah,
room.
I can
And
imagine.
I was just
Wow.
like, I was like, all right. And then, okay, one of the family members cleaned it up and said, like, okay, 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 I will check it out. And he actually went up, and then you have to walk as I said, very carefully, because the wood, everything was basically eaten up also by
Yeah.
white ants. So then, yeah, they remove it. But yeah, that kind of things, that was that.
Wow.
Have you, in that process, in that moment, did it ever occur to you to just say, that's it, I'm packing up and getting out of here, like going
Um,
back home? Have you
I,
ever thought?
maybe there might have been a fleeting moment, but as I said, I sort of like I made a decision to come here,
Yeah.
and it was like yeah, okay, I have to make the best out of it,
Yeah.
and yeah, that's my life. I mean,
Wow. You're one strong woman.
I think you become strong. You might not want maybe to be strong, but you
Yeah.
you had no choice.
Yeah, your
You had no
circumstances
choice.
basically, you own your decisions and decide, I'm going to plow through.
Yeah,
Regardless, I'm going to do this and make it work.
Right.
Okay,
yeah.
so coming back to
Wow.
you and gaining some independence, I assume. Did you guys eventually move out and you have your own place?
Mm,
You did,
yeah.
okay.
We eventually move out. I actually I still give I oh no I, okay, I gave birth in hospital, but I was still staying in the old house.
Mm-hmm,
So that time when Duncan was born, he was still staying also in that same room what we had.
mm-hmm.
Um, for about for about 7 months, and then we had our own, and yeah, I mean, you had to apply here, blah 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 blah,
Yeah.
and then we got our own place, we got our own flat.
Okay, okay. So
Mhm.
now I got to know you when you were working for KLM,
Mm.
Royal
Mhm.
Dutch Airlines.
Mm.
Now, when did you start there?
Okay, when we moved out to our own flat, the HDB
Mhm.
flat, that is where actually the whole family started moving out. They getting their own flats and all that. So my ex grandmother came to stay with us.
Ah,
So uh, when um, when my son was about uh, I think 3 or 4, I was working. Okay, there was an advertisement in the newspaper for Singapore Airlines, temporary, for 6 months, a job
mm-hmm,
at the airport at the Silvercrest Lounge,
mm-hmm,
and at the counter for the business class, basically relief all the business and first class passengers.
mm-hmm.
So I applied for it, and apparently they took, I think, 3 or 4 of us, because at that time apparently 5 or 6 of the Silvercrest ladies got pregnant at the same time. So, so we
It's
were
in the
like
water.
relieving them, yeah, for that 6 months that they were away.
Ah, okay.
So that is that. So I worked there from about somewhere in August to end of the year,
Mm-hmm.
and then end of the year, somebody from Singapore Airlines happened to pass by the counter. We started chatting, and it was like, oh, okay, I haven't seen you, blah blah blah, and I was with the other part timer as well, and so we were like, yeah, yeah, this was our last day or second last day or something like that. And he was like, why? And so we explained. And then he was like, oh, why don't you come and work for reservations then?
Ah, so
So
you
we were
started with
like,
Singapore Airlines.
yeah.
Ah,
So we were like, okay, yeah, why not? So, but then they extended us at the Silver Crest because they still needed us. So what we did is, I mean, for me that in the morning from 9 to 1, I worked at reservations.
mm-hmm.
And then in the evening from 7 to 11 or something like that, I worked at the Silver Crest.
Ah,
And that went on for about 2 years.
mhm.
And then uh, 2 guys at KLM left, and then they needed people. It was in an advertisement, so of course, I mean, I had the advantage because I spoke Dutch.
Yeah,
So yeah, so that me and another guy, an internal guy from the catering, yeah, we got in. So that was by that time it was 1993 already.
mm,
I must say, as a Singaporean too, well, was, if you are multilingual,
mm,
Mm-hmm.
to live in Singapore, you are definitely at the advantage to find a job that's related to your talent, right? In this case, you worked in an environment whereby there's a lot of travelers and they can definitely tap into your ability to converse with these people in Dutch. Just like how we, maybe even Farah, her Chinese is immaculate compared to mine. Mine
no,
is
no.
half pass here and there. You know, that is the where I'm going with this is just to give our listeners an idea. That's what happened when you move abroad. The ability for you to speak multiple language is definitely going to be beneficial for you as you navigate yourself into the new environment. We all have done that. Personally, for me, I'm here in America. I don't have to, but when I see people of my background, guess what? At the Asian grocery store, I would
Yeah.
listen to the conversation.
Yeah,
I'll be like, Charmaine,
yeah.
you were there the other day for our, when we were at a Vietnamese grocery store or even a Hong Kong a restaurant, because we want to feel welcome. We want to feel connected.
Mm.
Now, my next question to you is, with all of that, fast forward, 20, 30 years or more, how do you navigate and maintain your roots in a country, because you came from Netherlands? How do you then make Singapore as your home?
Um, it's I don't know. Okay. I have two other friends, Dutch citizens, but okay, one is really Dutch, blonde hair, blue eyes, and the other one is Indonesian Dutch as well. And it so happened that we got to know each other, and so happened that we actually arrived around the same time
Mm,
and stayed here. Okay, one in the meantime retired now and stay in is living in Thailand. But the other one is still here. But we all the three of us when we talked with each other and we were saying like we will still compare. I mean, I still do, and I know
yeah.
they also. So every time when there's something, I was like, oh no, but in Holland they don't do that. Oh no, in Holland it's different. And then I was talking to and then I happened then maybe to talk to my siblings or my sister, and then my sister's like, what? No, it's long overdue, no more. But then you still have that. And
Yeah.
here, but then on the other hand, here, like one of my friends said, like we sort of like a tree, your roots are there already. The roots are
Mhm.
already down. So yeah, you have your part. Basically,
Mm.
you can say home. But if not right now, Rose, what the same thing. I had people recently asking me like, where do you feel at home?
Mhm.
Um, Hard to say. I Of course this should be my home.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I mean, I have my home here, my flat here.
Mm.
I basically okay retire. I've worked here and all that. But then if I'm in Holland, I'm still also like, oh, like I'm home. I think
Mm.
Farah, you have that the same most of me
And
when
there's
Yes.
when you're
nothing wrong with you saying that, to be quite honest
no,
with
but
you,
yeah,
because it
but it's
makes you
it's hard
feel
to
good.
say. Yeah, but then it's hard to say like where is my home? I think my home is where I am at that moment,
There you
whether it's
go.
in Singapore
That's a
Mm.
good
or in
answer.
Holland, yeah,
Yeah.
and even now, even in Calgary, where my son lives.
Mm.
And
Because now
then
we were
go
just
ahead.
saying just the other day we were saying like I told my husband when we landed in Singapore, like okay, welcome home, and we were like, actually we got three homes now. I was
Lucky
like,
you.
wherever we go, it's like welcome home.
Yeah, yeah. Lucky you. But
Yeah.
that goes to show that you can easily assimilate and make yourself at home wherever you are. And what it also sounds like is home are where your people are at, meaning people that you love,
Hmm.
your relationships are at, and what is familiar
Yeah,
to you, right? Like in
yeah,
Calgary, for instance, it's your son and your
yeah,
grandson who is there.
yeah,
You have a family there now. And in Holland, of course, your roots are there to begin with. And then in Singapore is the life that you've built, and your
yeah,
husband is there in
yeah,
that sense. So I think kind of like Rosie and me, you know,
yeah.
when we relocated, it wasn't particularly say, hey, one fine day I'm
Yeah,
gonna, okay, bye, see you. No, there was a
yeah,
reason why we left,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
and a lot of times it's for someone, and that becomes the reason you stay, right?
yeah.
Ladies, we have to be mindful of the time. As you know, we are being time. But I want to ask this question, which I think resonate to all of us. How you, Swan, how do you keep yourself grounded with all of the chaos, with all of the moving parts? in order for you to calm yourself when things are so overwhelmed to you? How do you like put yourself together? What do you do?
Uh, I read a lot. I love
What
reading.
kind of reading materials?
Books.
Okay.
I tried Kindles and all that, but I'm getting so frustrated reading Kindles.
I'm with you there.
Because I want to like refer back, and I was like, which page, where? So I'm still very old fashioned with books, paper books.
Mm-hmm.
Music, I have always the radio on the whole day. At the moment I wake up, radio is on until I sleep.
Mm.
Music. Yeah.
um, and I'm trying to two things which I realized since I retired, what I love to do is I walk a lot. Okay, now that I'm part timing, I do walk a lot, but that is So what we do if I'm off, we always make it a point every afternoon to go for a walk, whether it's to the supermarket or to the walk,
Mm-hmm.
just
Mm.
walk. And I'm trying very hard. It doesn't always succeed, but I'm trying very hard to at least twice a week to just do a half an hour of some yoga stretches.
Nice. Very good.
Mm.
Very good. Nice.
So,
So yeah, that's basically what keeps me grounded, especially music. For me, music is very important. I can be so angry, I can be screaming. Never mind. As long as the music, after a while, I will just like singing
yeah.
along, and then it's
And what
over.
kind of music, may I ask?
Oh no, just the radio, just the
Just
old, mostly the oldies.
You know, speaking of radio, I've been here 25 years. I miss the radio station in Singapore. Not gonna
Oh
lie.
really?
The
Yeah.
music collections there, all the musics that playing there are the best compared to here. Just saying.
Really?
maybe it's what we grew up with, and the
Yeah,
Yeah.
variety
yeah,
is
Yeah.
yeah.
broader here. You basically just listen to American music, and then
Yeah.
Mm,
you don't get much diversity in that
Mm-mm.
sense.
No.
Now, thank you very much, Swan, you know, for entertaining us with your story. And, for our listeners, this is what happened 35, 40 years ago when you decide to relocate. It's not as easy as what it is right now, so
Mhm.
don't take it for granted or do not assume that,
Yeah.
what you're going through is so difficult, because believe me, it was way, way more
mm,
difficult, you know. And I admire that you came here from Holland, which was in the 80s already a very developed
mm.
country, to Singapore, which was still developing. I mean, we were developed, but
Yeah.
clearly the fact that you
Mm.
were you were thrown into a situation where you had to live with an extended family.
Mm.
In that sense, that for a European to come here and do that, that's huge,
Major.
for yeah.
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 I don't think I can do that.
Yeah. But I think once you'd be thrown, it's something like you'll be thrown in the deep. So you're just making the best out
The
of it,
best
you
of
know?
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
I
true.
just give you
That's
one a last anecdote, which
true.
I wanted to say how we communicated, because my parents, of course, were still in Holland.
Mm,
Both my parents were still alive that time. So what we did is just to have that connection,
mm,
because as I said, we letters writing was the only thing. I mean, there was no such thing as WhatsApp or whatever, or
mm,
sending photos. Sending photo was like printing out and sending.
Right.
So what we did is to just stay connected, or for me to just stay connected, is that every Sunday at 12 o'clock, sorry, 6 o'clock our time, which is noon their time, I would ring the phone 3 times.
mhm.
And they don't, yeah, so they know 3 times it rings, I stop. And then three
Ah,
times again, ring, stop. And then they do the same for me. So that it was just like, oh, okay, we're connected.
Aww.
oh, how
Okay, I'm gonna do that
nice.
now. Just three. Okay, hold on. Why three, not four, not two?
And then so it was always, and everybody, the whole family knew, because when they, like, even my parents, when my nephews, their grandsons are there, or what, or family, or what, or relatives are there, and the phone is ringing around that time, then my mom would always say, like, don't answer the phone. It's just 3 times, and then they know, oh, okay, that's one from Singapore.
Wow. Because
Because it
calls
was
were
so,
expensive, right?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
one
Yeah.
minute was $10.
Yeah.
Wow. back
So
then.
once in a blue moon, my ex-husband would say like, okay, because he knew that I needed to talk. I mean, just to hear. So he was like, okay, 5 minutes, which is $50 then. So and then
Yeah.
we set the alarm, and then you call, and then it's like, okay, I need to hang up now.
Oh, that is tough. That is very, very tough,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that kept me going in a way also, because you were looking forward to the Sunday. It was like, oh, Sunday, 6 o'clock, wherever I was, it was like, okay, sorry. I need to be near a phone. I need to
Yeah.
be home. And then
Yeah.
sometimes you happen to be away, and then I had to call the home, like, okay, at 6 o'clock, the ringing, do not answer. Nobody to answer that.
The things you have to go through, right? Oh
Yes.
my,
That's right.
my. Yeah. Rosie?
Yep. So, folks, if you would like us to bring back Swan, sorry, who is Anne? Swan, please write on a comment below so that we can bring her back. Sounds like she's got a lot to share with us and a lot of stories, untold stories. And if today's episode resonated with you, hit the subscribe button, leave a quick comment below, and share it with friends. You can also follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube channel, obviously, and TikTok. And DM or email us at hello@ttransitions.com. And every story matters here. We are so glad you're a part of this space. Take care, be kind to each other, and we'll see you soon. Thanks, Swan.
Thank you, Swan.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, ma'am.
Good
Thank
luck.
you. You take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank